Hello, my name's Denise, and I'm here with the National Sports Media Association. I just have a few questions for you today. And how are you doing today?
I am outstanding.
Um, can you give the audience a little bit knowledge of yourself?
Sure. I am originally from a smaller town in North Alabama, Decatur. I grew up there and went to school at the University of Alabama and then worked in the sports information office while I was in school, interned there when I graduated, and then went to work for the multimedia rights holder at Alabama at the time, which was Collegiate Sports Properties and the Alabama Sports Network. And after a few years, the rights changed hands to Learfield, and it was Learfield and ISP for a while I was there. And then in 2007, the UAB job opened up for the second time in as many years, and I applied for the second time in as many years, and for whatever reason, the second time was the charm. They hired me in July of 2007, and so I am in the middle of my 18th season with the Blazers.
I heard you said you went to the University of Alabama. What was that experience like, and how did that get you to want to go into broadcasting, sort of?
It was great. I come from a mixed family. My dad went to Auburn. My mother grew up an Alabama fan.
Mhm.
My older sister was enrolled and had her roommate at Auburn and then changed her mind and went to Alabama, at which point some of our good family friends told my father he was losing control of his family. And then my brother went to Alabama and tried to walk on the baseball team there. And so at that point, I was an easy convert. I was an easy sell to go to Alabama, and I had figured out in kind of the last year of high school, my senior year of high school, that I thought I would maybe want to give broadcasting a try. And Alabama's got an outstanding college of communications, so it was just sort of a natural for me at that point.
Has there been any stories that have stuck with you over the course of the time?
Oh my goodness. I think we all probably have enough stories that we could all write books. A lot of the stories would probably get us in trouble with some other people. May get us in trouble with the law in a couple of states. I'm not sure about that, but um, I think you'll always remember if you're lucky enough to call a championship game, whether it be winning a regular season title or a tournament title, or if you're lucky enough to go to the NCAA tournament in basketball, or anything like that. I think you obviously remember those special moments, but a lot of times um, it's the road trips and it's the horrible travel experiences that you have to endure. But you're doing it with friends and coworkers and people you enjoy being around, so you make the best of it. And a lot of times, I think it's it's what happens away from the court and the stadium and the field that sometimes sticks with us broadcasters longer than maybe the championships do.
Is there a specific thing that got you into broadcasting?
I get asked that a lot, and I'm showing my age at this point. The folks watching this who are about my age will understand. The younger people may not be able to comprehend it, but when I was growing up um, in the 70s and 80s, we didn't get to see our favorite football team every single week on television. Growing up in Alabama, we would see Alabama and Auburn maybe two or three times a year on television. That was it. So you had to listen to the radio. If you wanted to follow your team or other teams, you listened to it on the radio. And that's what I did growing up. And like I said, in high school, I kind of figured it out. I'd been listening to games for several years, and it finally hit me that that sounds kind of fun. I think I might like to try that. And my sister went to Alabama and majored in communications as well. So I guess there was a little tug in that direction, but I just kind of figured out it might be fun to get to go talk about games for a living.
Do you have any advice for the younger generation that wants to go into broadcasting?
Um, I, I give this advice a lot, and that is do everything you can. And most of it you will not get paid for, but you get experience. When I was getting started, when I was in school at Alabama, I worked in the sports information office, writing press releases and working with the media, not necessarily being a part of the media. I interned at a couple of television stations over the summers, worked at radio station, you name it. And some of it I really liked, some of it I didn't care for, but I think it all helps you sort of figure out what you do like, what you do enjoy, maybe what you excel at, maybe what you struggle with. And so just get as much experience in as many uh, avenues and areas and genres as possible because it will only help you down the line.
What does a current day in your life look like at this moment?
At this very moment, I am in a hotel room in Tulsa, Oklahoma, getting ready for the UAB Tulsa basketball game here tonight. So there are a lot of buses, there are a lot of airports, there are a lot of hotels throughout the course of the season. I would say a typical week is um, 2 or 3 or 4 days, depending on whether it's a home game or a road game, doing prep work and traveling and calling the games. The other part of my time I spend in real estate. I got my real estate license several years ago, so I try to sell a house every now and then when I'm not traveling with the Blazers or calling games for UAB. But it's a lot of prep work. We have a weekly radio show during football and basketball season, so there's enough to keep me busy through the academic part of the year anyway.
Well, it's been nice. I just want to congratulate you on your National Sports Media Association Award 2024.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Also, I have some side questions.
Okay.
You went to the University of Alabama, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just applied. That's like my number one. I went there for the camp, the CNIS camp, and I stayed
Hmm.
for a week and I literally fell in love with it. So yeah, I love Alabama.
Where are you now?
I'm currently in North Carolina.
Okay.
I don't want to stay in state just because like I feel like I've been here for quite some time now and I want
Sure.
to go
Sure.
out, and all the schools I'm applying to are all out of state.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I will say this. Again, I've been out I graduated in 1994, so it's been a while. Um, the opportunities that are there now, we had a student radio station and we had a student television station that when you went through the College of Communication, you were responsible for like 6 hours of programming 2 nights a week. And now with the SEC network stuff, it's amazing what all the students get to do now.
Yeah.
Running, producing telecasts and running cameras and doing all, I mean, it is amazing. And it's a special place. I love it. And highly recommend it. I hope we want to rescue you from North Carolina.
Thank you so much. It's been so nice meeting you, and I hope you have a good day and a good game tonight. And
We'll see. No
we'll
problem.
see. Alrighty, well, have a
Thanks,
good day.
Denise.
Bye.
Bye.